Hi guys and welcome, Gnemon here. Today's project is to build an AFKable sand converter that allows us to change the color of sand. It is a quite simple contraption, but I like those kind of projects because they are easy to build in survival and pretty useful in certain scenarios. And many of you guys may decide to build it in your own worlds. Red sand is pretty hard to come by. It only appears in mesas and patches and only one deep layer. Red sandstone with all of its stairs and slabs and different variants of the block is a very useful building block, and it is even rarer. Pretty much the only way to obtain it is to craft it from red sand. Yellow sand and sandstone, on the other hand, is abundant in deserts where both reside in couple block deep deposits. So if you are building with red sandstone, you might be interested in this contraption. So here is how it works. So you fill up your inventory with some rubbish blocks. You put most of your sand into this dropper and you leave a few blocks in your hand. Then you just approach to the AFKable position and then you keep pressing a place block and the sand will be converted. And you can see every time we are getting a new block, so we are never running out of sand. The converted sand falls into this chest and is able for you to pick up after you're done. So now let's look how to make it. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel here. We are using a concept presented initially by test 137E29, link in the description, and we are using a design I've seen in Panda's 4994 video, also linked in the description. They all exploit the bug, if I understand it correctly, that when a sand block is pushed into a block with another sand entity, it doesn't replace the sand entity data with the new block data and assumes they're all the same. In short, on the left is the red sand that we'll be painting into, and on the right is stack of sand that will be repainted. And they are both being pushed by 0 tick pistons triggered 2 game ticks apart. So in the first tick, the red sand is being teleported into the middle location by the left piston, which goes back to the retracted state in the same game tick. In the next tick, the red sand block realizes that it has to fall into the hole and becomes a falling red sand entity. In the third tick, the other piston fires, moving instantly the yellow sand into the middle and pushing the red sand to its initial location. And due to the bug, leaves the falling red sand entity in the middle instead of replacing it with a yellow falling red sand entity. At the bottom of the hole we have a torch or any partial block, half slab would do as well, that breaks the falling entities of the converted sand, and a hopper to grab the drops. So let's see how this works in practice. So we need to have this replaced with a sand. And then when we trigger the pistons, you can see that our yellow sand disappeared and now we have a red sand in this hopper. So now let's see how to build an AFKable version of this contraption. Our first addition is to automatically feed the farm, but instead of using a clock, we will be using a player himself to power the clock. We have here a container that the comparator can read the output from. I use the hopper here, filled up to the brim with blocks. So whenever a user places a block in here, the comparator would be able to read the content of the hopper and give a strong output. This output is fed to the contraption, which triggers the pistons and makes the column of sand drops. This breaks the connection between the container and the comparator and resets the farm. So we can just sit here, keep placing block key and go AFK. The problem is that we will quickly run out of sand from our hand, so that's why we have here a dropper that would dispense 1 piece of sand every time we use 1 piece of sand from our inventory, which makes sure that we never run out of sand. The farm is pretty much fully AFKable right now, but I wanted to add the more accessible collection system. So for that we replaced the hopper at the bottom with a line of hoppers that fit into this dropper tower and come down with the signal from the comparator to power the droppers. So each time we trigger the farm, it will also trigger the droppers to put the converted sand into the chest next to the player AFK position. So here's the final product. It has a pretty small footprint. It's not the fastest sand converter out there, but it's definitely simple and easy to build. So I placed this additional block here for you to easily place the sand blocks. It exploits the bug in the game, so you might want to refrain of using it in your own world, but on the other hand, you are not duplicating anything here, just swapping block data. So if you are fine with using it, it's up to you. That's all what I've got time for today. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. It was a relatively simple contraption, but I think it's good to show those smaller builds from time to time. If you liked it, please share, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!